What's up, YouTube? I'm back again. And as you can see, my shorts review is getting longer. But we not about to go through all these videos. We already know from the past 3 videos I posted, I can be very long-winded. So I try to do only about 3 max, maybe 4, depending on how fast I went through the first 3. So here, I'm gonna go ahead and go through this top 3 videos and then we'll talk about it.
Dude right there, he looked like a lame ass nigga. You could probably do the shit.
Hey, what's your name?
Me?
Yeah.
Ash?
What grade you in?
You have to sit down.
Do you want me to sit down?
You can.
What grade you in?
I'm a freshman.
Really?
Yeah.
That's real nice. That's real nice. You look good.
Why you came over here?
Yeah. Can I get your number?
I don't even know your name.
It's Kaya.
What are you?
A sophomore.
You dressing like this?
What you trying to say?
I expect more.
What? Hold on. What you mean? I barely had classes today. I ain't trying to impress nobody.
You sure as hell ain't impressing me.
Oh, I ain't trying to, baby. You got on a Nike Tech with some Crocs. Let's keep it a buck.
Yeah, and I ain't impressing nobody because people like you want to run the school.
What? Baby, who do you think you are? I came over here to try to win $100, 0 out of 10. Do not try it. Ugh, hate nigga. Do her.
Do it.
Alright, so as unbiased as I want to be here, because I am going to be that way, he was completely in the wrong. Absolutely. Now, granted, I don't know if this is a true situation where they was planning something out and he was just unbeknownst pulled into it. But I think she still handled that as best as she could. He wasn't very nice. I think that he could have been a lot more productive about what he said to her. I've had cases where women give me compliments. I wasn't interested and I just said, hey, I really appreciate the compliment. I think you look great too. I'm just not interested. And that's it. I don't need to insult the person about their choice of attire that day. I don't need to, whether it's direct or indirect, whether it was subtle, it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, it was still rude to harm the person's image just because you weren't interested in them. So, and he done it like about 3 times in that short stint of a conversation between them two. So yeah, he was totally in the wrong. By the time she even wanted to even insult him, she's already been insulted about 2 or 3 times. So I'm not even about to judge her about the insult she gave back, because if anything, that was just an eye for an eye. And she didn't make up for much of what he said to her. He came at her about 3 times. She only went back at him 1 time. And then she just, called it, ended the conversation, walked away. So I would say the more mature individual here was her. However, here's where things kind of fall off the rails. What some people may have not paid attention to, or they have, at least the black man, probably is the statement that she said at the end. I hate N-words. Using a derogatory term to describe the men that share in your likeness is not going to help teach you that this was just a individual issue. The statement, if she wanted to express a statement like that, the better statement would have been to just simply say, I do not like guys who behave like him. That is a much more healthier perspective, because you're teaching your mind to understand that there's a difference between brothers that act like him towards her and brothers who can still look like him but treat her totally different. So when you say a broad stroke statement like I hate N-words, you're calling, first of all, without distinction, you end up calling all black men the N-word. And then 2, we know from the context of the video the types of black men you're talking about. But at the end of the day, using a derogatory term to describe the men, I don't think that's conducive. I think that it's just best to say, hey, I hate guys who act like him. That's perfectly fine, because I know what you mean, and you're still creating a distinction, and you're also providing clarity for yourself so that your subconscious doesn't teach your emotions to look at men by and large with a broad stroke. When you say those type of statements, you teach yourself to look at men like that, or men, just black men in general, by and large, in a broad stroke type of way. So that's what I would tell you. If she was my sister or my daughter or whatever, that's what I would say to her. That, hey, instead of not being able to express your frustration at all, how about we just refine your frustration? Let's replace the statement you did say with something that's a little bit more productive for yourself to still get your frustration outward, but also still help teach your current self to look at these types of people only in an individual way. It was just him. And then the next guy to act like that, it was just them two. Then the next guy to act like that, it was just those three. Never allow your subconscious or teach yourself to look at any individual and broad stroke everybody who even remotely fit that description. You're hurting yourself, your future self, and you're just being unproductive about your life. I mean, it's just not necessary to look at it that way. So I would say they both wrong, but that guy was definitely out of place with that. So, but who knows? Maybe this whole thing is a scare. He was part of it.
I just saw a video of a girl saying something along the lines of her boyfriend worked like 12, 13 hours, said he was too tired to like stop and pick up food on the way home. Been there, done that. And so she was like, I'm cooking him and taking him dinner. The very first comment when I opened up that comment section, and what does he do for you, sis? Okay. I'm going to talk in a very broad sense. In this generation, it's all about me, me, me. I. What do I get? What do I want? Since when did it leave everybody's brain that a relationship was supposed to be a partnership? When did that leave? Common sense has left the building. And me. What does he do for me? What does she do for me? What do I get out of this? What am I going to get? I'm not going to be in a relationship until I get everything that I need.
Are you hard?
Well, at least she got her head on her shoulders right. The last woman here. I didn't get the pause quick enough. Yeah, but I think this sister had her head on her shoulders right. This is what she's discovering, or at least acknowledging enough to make a video about, is something men have been complaining and or expressing issues about for years upon years. Nothing is new under the sun, as they say. This has been going on for ages. And I've never, I would say so far, not never, I haven't learned a logistical way to perceive why more often than not men tend to bump into women who have a extreme level of self-centered behavior. Most of my exes were self-centered. Most of them, majority. So that tells you something. And most of my male friends who have been with multiple different women, when they talk to me about them, majority of them were self-centered. At least that was one of their negative traits that girl that they were with had. And they even said it. And so there's a pattern here where more often than not, men tend to run into self-centered women. This is not to say women don't, but only speaking on the context of this video, men tend to run into self-centered women. And this usually is taught, right? There's a mixture between being taught and how they're being treated, especially extremely conventionally attractive women. There are two ways that they're being taught this, and it compounds. One way is by their parents, right? Whether it's the mother or the father or both, they're teaching the daughter this princess treatment-ish type of life, while they treat the man this subservitude type of behavior, where it's, I even went through it, where it's this, hold the door for women, buy them flowers, do this, that, do this, that, do this, that, and it's like, but then these are the same adults, the parents that's teaching this to their children, that complained about those very types of experiences in their life with this lopsided dynamic. And I'm like, but you're teaching the same lopsided dynamic that you don't like in your current marriage or relationship to your children. When you teach your sons to have this extreme subservitude behavior to attractive women or women that they like, while you teach the women to have this extreme levels of take, I'm the queen of England type of behavior, you're creating the lopsided relationships in the dating market. It should be balanced. You should be teaching the daughter to appreciate what a man gives you, but also it's not just a take environment. You should be giving what you should be matching that energy as best as you can. And same thing for men. Look for women who give back to you, who don't just siphon from you. And this is, again, because that creates, again, a lopsided relationship where now the man is unhappy. The woman is, of course, going to be happy unless she's just spoiled with everything she's getting, but she's not giving much back to him, maybe besides some open legs. And to the, shocking surprise, women, just because you open your legs every so often is not enough to keep a man going for the next millennium. You got to do more than just that. I hate to tell you, but you got to do more than just that. So, yeah, this whole me. I remember in old relationships I've been with toxic partners and stuff. At some point in the argument, I remember saying this exact statement: the world doesn't revolve around you. That's exactly what I would tell them. The world doesn't revolve around you. It does, and I would also follow up by saying it don't revolve around me either. I was like, this is, but in our relationship, I would say that even though the world doesn't care about much of anybody, we should try to care about each other as much as we can. That's what I would say, usually. Because unless you're just a complete jackass to me, then I'm going to just tell you the world doesn't revolve around you and move on. But yeah, I remember having to say that so often to so many women because they're showing traits of a person who's just hyper self-centered. This is not about you. Like, this relationship ain't about you. It is about a team. It's about a team environment. And if you can't be a team player because you spend too much trying to insert an I where there's no I in team, then we can't be together. The world doesn't revolve around you. Just be a single individual. If you're going to be that focused on you, then just stay single. That's how I looked at it. Just stay single. So, yeah, I mean, whatever she's noticing, that's a regular situation to us, at least to men.
Are you hard?
Bro, what? Bro, what? Bro.
I feel that motherfucker. I ain't gonna lie.
Whoa, what?
I feel that motherfucker.
See, this shit right here, this goofy ass interaction right here with this whole best friend. I don't know if they're actually best friends or not. I don't know who these people are, but I'll just say this. Presuming that they are just best friends or just friends in general, this is completely goofy and inappropriate. They're showing to the world, or rather just whoever saw it, exactly why men and women are not comfortable with people who they actually like having friends of the opposite sex. They're proving their exact point. They're proving my point. They're proving other men's point. They're proving other women's point, because both of these people are showing the opposite gender why they don't feel comfortable of their partner having friends of the opposite gender. If they're not dating or seeing each other, I don't see any reason why she's sitting on his lap. And vice versa for him. I don't see why he's allowing this type of behavior. So what this tells me from perception, it makes me think that you guys got something going on behind closed doors. Some people actually like this type of stuff where they enjoy this, for lack of better phrasing, cat and mouse experience where they present to the world when they're out together, or even just, when they're out together or whatever, or even just in private, they present to other people, we just friends. But then in private together, they'll play with each other. And well, this ain't that private since this is online, but some people get off to that where it keeps this heightened level of I would say not really mystery, but novelty effect. It's like they're trying to keep this novelty effect going because usually probably in public they just try to play this friend role, and it keeps that tension going between them. And then in private they let it all out. I mean, it's a good strategy if you want to keep some level of novelty going on, but in terms of like some level of morality and self-control, is just completely inappropriate. So yeah, I'm gonna say they both wrong there.
My wife is she's everything that a woman's supposed to be. Soft-spoken, elegant, extremely laid
with
back,
you.
extremely.
When y'all get in an argument,
There's
what
no
does she do?
We don't do arguments.
Okay.
We don't argue.
If you guys get in a disagreement, what does she do?
Let me stop you right there before I let this whole thing play out. Y'all saw what she did right there, right? Trying to move the goalpost, but didn't really move it. That's what I call that, because he said they don't argue. Then she had to change the analogy, change the synonym to being a different word of saying disagreement. The answer to me will still be the same. If I was speaking to this woman, he nicer, I would have said, I already answered your question. That's what I would have said, because saying argument and then disagreement, they're synonyms of each other. One tends to be looked at as more extreme than the other, and that's where I'll try to give her some throw her a bone here. But at the end of the day, you're still meaning the same thing. So I would still give you the same exact answer. So it seems like she's looking for something here.
She lets me be right until I realize I'm wrong.
Damn.
That's how grown women navigate. Yeah, I deal with feminine
wait,
women.
say it again.
That was hard. Say it again.
She allows me to be right until I come back and realize I'm wrong. That's what smart women
So when
do.
do you come
Ladies,
back
that's
and
the new
realize you're
standard.
wrong?
It could be when I leave. I could go get in my car. It could be a day. It could be
What if
2
you
days.
never realize it?
She knows what kind of man she got. I'm gonna realize it.
That's fair. Yeah, I could see that. If they actually took the time to know each other and learn each other, paying attention to detail about each other, then she must really know who he is as a type of person, and she has some level of confidence about this type of interaction that they could have. This whole what if scenarios that girls go through in their mind, it doesn't scream strength or confidence about a situation. She's somebody who's going to be what if this, what if that, and probably even move based off of a what if, because she's going to answer the question herself. That's just not conducive to successful relationship. We can what if all fucking day, but at the end of the day, we're going to go with what we know until we cross that bridge. If there's a day that comes that he don't realize it, then maybe she'll just communicate to him. But until that bridge comes, we not gonna have to worry about crossing it. So yeah, I don't see, she kind of reaching there. She probably has some level of bias, and she's trying to justify, why she may not be in a relationship. But again, I don't know her life. She might be in a relationship. Who knows? All right, let's see. I'm kind of flowing here a little bit, so I feel like I can get away with another video or two here. When a mother walks in after missing her daughters. Oh, yeah.
What are you doing, Jamel?
What are you doing up?
Where have you been?
I have things to do. Why? What's the matter?
You don't remember what tonight was?
No, not that I remember.
You don't remember me telling you that Lily, our daughter, had kindergarten graduation today?
Oh,
You missed our daughter's graduation. Where were you?
I got caught up with stuff for work.
Really?
And then I went to go hang out with some friends, and I totally forgot. Why didn't you call or text me?
I did. Twice. No reply. So you know what? I took her.
Okay.
Yeah.
How did it go?
It was good. You know what she wanted to be? She wanted to be a nurse like her mom. And when she looked out and her mom wasn't there, you should have seen her. Devastated. We had to leave early. She was crying so loud.
Why do you have to make me feel worse about it?
Because you missed it. Be honest with me. Are you cheating on me again?
I don't want to talk about this right now.
Well, we are. I want a yes or no.
Yes.
Alright. I'll let daughter know that.
She doesn't need to know that. She's already devastated about today.
Okay.
I really don't like people like this. But I'll say this, right? No one is making you feel anything. You can feel remorseless for all we care. If you feel bad, it's because you feel naturally guilty, because to some degree you still have some level of conscience within you that understood that what you're doing was bullshit. Problem number 2, because that was problem number 1. Problem number 2, his question said again. So that means that this young lady has cheated before on him. Now, this is why I'm gonna throw the bone, because first my instinct is to be like, you should have left. But they have a daughter. So here's where I think this is where the line gets blurred for single people who don't get this picture. A man who truly, or a woman who truly cares about their kids, they're gonna be hesitant just running and leaving so quickly. For the most part, usually. And so this man, maybe he just kind of perceived it as a situation. It was kind of a rock and hard place. I'm trying to keep the family together. So I'm going to throw my wife a bone and let her slide this one time. So that's one thing that I think may have went through his head. The other thing I think is that he didn't have no evidence. Because from our vantage point, there's a camera behind him filming this interaction. So to me, he needed evidence to leave. Because now he got boxes here too. I ain't gonna say now as if I knew he didn't before, but we see boxes. So this could be her boxes, or this could be his and his daughter. So he may have needed evidence to protect himself in court in the case that they try to gut him when they shouldn't be. So I would say props to him getting evidence if he didn't have any initially, because he thought he could trust his wife. And I would say props to him even giving this relationship a second chance. So yeah, after this point, it shouldn't be him asking a question of, did you cheat on me again? Because he should have left after this again. So, yeah. I kind of want to do this video, but this has nothing really to do with dating. It actually kind of does, but it's some level of religiousness in it. I might just leave that alone. Whatever. We'll play.
Watch this woman expose Muslim men, and then watch something incredible happen.
I spent my whole life being what they said a good Muslim woman should be. I never partied, I never smoked, I never drank, I never took my hijab off, I never touched a man outside of marriage, I never had a rebellious phase, I never listened to music, I never whatever. I was the definition.
Damn, you can't listen to music? Well, I will say to Islam's defense, most music is secular anyway. And most music you find on Spotify, secular. I promise you.
Of what they say a good Muslim woman should be. And yet, when I try to expose a dawah bro for sliding into my DMs, the Muslim community tried to rip me apart and destroy my reputation. And that was the biggest wake-up call to me. That was the moment I realized this idea of our reputation is a tool, it's a construct used to control women. As Muslim women, we are heavily taught that our worth lies in how we are perceived, and that one little mistake, one mishap can destroy us forever. But let's look around. Muslim men can do the very things that we are warned against.
Yep.
They can lie, they can cheat,
Yep.
They can have a past of clubbing and sleeping around and smoking and drinking and have secret wives, secret families, and yet their reputation remains intact. What does that tell us? It tells us that this idea of our reputation is not about morality, it's about control.
This sister is one step away.
Well, she has a point. Yeah, if I was looking at this from outside looking in, I've dated some sisters who practice Islam and considered themselves Muslim, even though they wasn't really doing any wasn't really sticking by the rules to that degree, to the degree that she did. And they never really told me about this hypocrisy that went on, but I can see how that's hypocritical. I can absolutely see that hypocrisy there. You want the women to be kind of barred, in a sense, from not having much flexibility in the decisions and things that they can choose to do in their life. However, you don't hold the same accountability on the men. And see, if an Islam man came to me and tried to defend this, my first question to him would be, do you believe that a man should lead the household? Pretty sure most guys would say yes, especially if he follows his religion. Then I will follow up and say, okay, do you think you can lead your household? Or you should lead your household, lead the woman, your kids? He would probably say yeah, especially because of ego. Then my follow-up would be, if that's the case, what makes you think you're leading when you are doing the very thing you don't want your wife doing or don't want women doing? As men, if you don't want a group of people that you expect to follow your guidance to not do something like club, drink, smoke, or whatever, why then are you doing it? See, we call women childish, but we're not applying our logic to say, okay, if we're going to call women childish, then we understand that even children will mimic what their adult leadership do. So if we don't want children to throw food away and we rather than finish it, we as adults shouldn't throw food away in front of them, and we should finish our food or put it away in the fridge. So you can't insult and then also not follow through. At least that's me. I think that if you're gonna have this standard, these extreme standards on the women in this context, you should respect them, the women, enough to say, okay, I expect women to be like this so that it works in my benefit when I want to be with one of them, so that I don't have to worry about them having a crappy past and all this other stuff. But then at the same time, I need to be willing to follow those same rules. If men in her practice want to do that, then I think that they should ease up on the rules that they put on their women. That's how I look at it. If I started off in a relationship telling a woman, you can't interact with men on social media, you can only respond to the comments of women, right? If that's what I told her, and let's say in the beginning, I didn't even use social media, and then later on, I started responding to women on social media, responding to the men too, not saying anything inappropriate, but just responding to them, I just broke the rule that I had on my partner. But here's the thing that I do that most people don't do. I don't think they do this. I will go to my partner the next opportunity I get. Sometimes I'll just deliberately bring up the conversation. I'll say, hey, look, remember that rule I had on X, Y, Z, ABC? Yeah, it's cool. You can do it too. And they'll probably ask me why. And I'll say it's because I started doing it. And I don't think it's fair for me to be a leader barring you from something that I'm doing myself. That's not a reflection of good leadership. If I'm going to be comfortable doing this when I just told my partner they can't do it in that example, then I can't do it myself, or I need to ease up on the rule I had on them. That's how I move. That's a reflection of, to me, and honestly, I would think on paper, that's a reflection of legitimate leadership. That's what I think is real leadership. You should only have rules and regulations that you are willing and capable to follow. If you are not willing as an Islamic man to follow those same rules you have on women, then you should probably not have those rules on the women. That's just my opinion. Granted, I'm not always the type to be in other religions' businesses, but she put it out there for the world to hear and see. So I just thought, what she called out, I respect her for calling it out. That's a valid argument. And, I've seen so many, and I just thought it was always perplexing to me that, okay, by and large, the men can have multiple wives, but I don't, as far as I understand, women, it's not widely accepted that Islamic women can do the same thing. And that, again, that to me is just very befuddling, because why why are you having this double standard? But then see, I just don't get it. Like, men always want to complain about, men by and large typically want to complain about women having double standards in dating and relationships, but then look at all this evidence that women can say men have double standards. Even though not all men are sitting around being Islamic in practice, we still have examples of large groups of men practicing double standards that work not in the favor of women. You know, people still have feelings. Even if a Islamic woman chooses to be a second wife, she'll be crazy to think that her feelings wouldn't be impacted on seeing the man love on the first wife and then love on her second. Like, that would still impact her to some degree. You know, we still have the same baseline of emotions here that she may still be impacted. Some women don't care, but many of them do. So yeah, I just thought that was a really interesting video. Even though it didn't really fit completely the context, it still kind of did, since she was referencing dating, marriages, and relationships and stuff. So yeah, I was about to say it is what it is, but rather that's just the way the cookie crumbles. So if I was her, I'll be signing out of that Islam practice, or I'll just change how I handle it. I'll just probably just not be Islamic, or I'll just be Islamic with exceptions, you know? So, but it's completely up to her how she decides to move from that. But I think from the way she spoke of it, it seemed like she is about to move different. Rightfully so, of course, in my opinion, because she completely, I don't know how old she is, but she completely sacrificed so much of her life that she missed out on enjoying, or even experiences that she missed out on, because she thought what she was doing was the right thing, and she thought the men would follow suit. But all her life she's kept seeing these double standards, and maybe she even ignored it. But like she said, that big wake-up call was when the community took a giant glistening shit on her for calling out hypocrisy. It's humans, man. I swear, we want to pride ourselves on being so intellectual in comparison to other animals, but we do some of the dumbest shit. An intellectual creature would have been on her side, not riding against her. Oh man, idiots to the third power. All right, well, that's all I had. Appreciate y'all watching. See you.